Hello, you beautiful souls, and welcome back, or maybe welcome for the first time. I don't know, but glad you're here. And honestly, life has been lifing. So I just know that I'm here because I got shit to say. And honestly, we're back, bitches. So it's been a minute since I've sat down behind this microphone. New aesthetics, because you didn't see me before, but here we are. We're doing it. And I wasn't planning for some big comeback episode. No dramatic rebrand, no perfectly curated return, no here's the plan, let's do this. It is just I am going to re-enter into this world that I wanted to be in. I am sitting on my couch, my favorite spot in the house, and I've just realized something recently that I don't, I'm ready to come back. And not because I think that I have everything together, because no, but not even because life feels like suddenly easy and like I got it all figured out. Like, nope, not even that. Just not even that I've reached some magical level bullshit of like how to say shit, because I still don't know how it to come off when it is the things that I need to say, right? Like as a therapist, like sure, but like when I need to talk, when I need to get my things out, I don't know. But it's kind of the opposite. Like I've just been carrying around a lot of thoughts lately and a lot of feelings and just observations. And I think I've just been missing having a place to put them, right? Like I miss being able to talk out loud, like not in the curated way that I have to do with therapy, that I have to do in business, just being able to just process in real time. I miss being able to have conversations about things that we're all experiencing, but don't always say out loud. I mean, the reality of it is this world in today's society. I know my clients are tired of me hearing it, but in today's season and time, shit hitting the fan and we just doing the best we can with what we got, you know? And so I missed having conversations about the things we're all experiencing, but don't get to say out loud. And so here we are, my couch, mi casa, this microphone. And so whatever's going to come out of my mouth is whatever's going to come out of my mouth. The pressure to arrive, when I considered like sitting back down and starting this, I was just like, man, I mean, I've done some things, things have changed, yes, but it is also, I am not where I want to be, and I am grieving that. I think that the pressure we've put ourselves to just arrive somewhere, to be healed, to be successful, to be rested, to be a certain stature, to be married, to be a homeowner for the first time, to arrive at these versions of ourselves that finally have it all together. And if you're anything like me, you probably keep moving the finish line, or society keeps moving the goalposts. And once you reach one goal, suddenly there's another hurdle, there's another obstacle. You learn one lesson, and then suddenly here's another thing to work on. You heal one wound, and then another layer reveals itself. And for a long time, I thought healing was about arriving, and I thought eventually I'll get to this place where everything made sense, where I felt settled, where I felt clear, where I felt done. For sure, when I got to my 30s, I was like, yes, I'm here. I've arrived. Like, okay, I got my license. Okay, I got this. Okay, 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 okay. And I found myself grieving things that I had no idea were things that I even wanted, that I even desired, that I even knew that I would miss, things that I didn't get that I should have got, but I'm never going to get. And, one day I thought I'd just wake up and somebody would hand me a trophy and just be like, all right, you're healed. You're good to go. You can go on about your business, stress free life. But Surprise. It's not how any of that shit works, is it? No. So nobody tells you that. Like, nobody tells you that growth has levels. Nobody talks about how healing is so damn messy. Nobody talks about, like, every time you figure something out, life politely says, hold my beer. Like, here's the next lesson. And lately, I've just been questioning the whole idea of arrival. I don't know that healing works like that. It doesn't work like that. Like, I don't know that life works like that. We damn sure know life don't work like that. And if I'm being honest, this season has just been exhausting. Not bad, not falling apart, just exhausting. And when I say exhausting, I don't mean that there's a dumpster fire, everything is on fire. I mean, I don't mean crying in the shower every day. I just mean that weird kind of exhaustion where life is technically okay, but everything feels like a test. It feels like a requirement. Like, it feels like we go to that meeting that should have been an email. Like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, there's always a to-do list, and I need a nap. I complete this and I'm exhausted. That took everything that I had left. And underneath it all, when you're handling the responsibilities, you're showing up for people, paying the bills, doing the things that they say you're supposed to do, but underneath it all, just pure exhaustion. And you learn that you get a good night's sleep, even if you're not in a sleep deficit and you wake up just tired and you end up being soul tired. Like, because what if you're tired because you're growing? Like, I feel like it's important to say that sometimes we only give ourselves permission to be tired when something is wrong. Just like people only go to therapy when something is wrong. But what if you're tired because you're just carrying responsibilities? Like, what if you're tired because you're making the hard decisions? Like, what if you're tired because you're building something? What if you're tired because you're processing things you've never allowed yourself to process before? So when I say I've been noticing a lot of shit lately, like the emotional labor of becoming, that emotional labor of awareness, because you start seeing these patterns, and once you start seeing them, it's unhard to see. Once you ring that bell, you cannot unring it. And once you become conscious of certain things, it's hard to go back and be like, yeah, I didn't see that. Good luck, Chuck. And if you figure that out, let me know. Because once you start recognizing your own wounds, your own habits, your own stories, you can't unknow it. And while awareness is a gift, that awareness is heavy as hell too. In my journey as a therapist, for sure in this season where your therapist is experiencing the same shit that you're going through, it is a wonderful time to be in therapy and question mark to be a therapist. And one thing I've had to remind myself of lately is that being a therapist doesn't exempt me from being human. I know the coping skills, I know the nervous system work, I know the communication tools, I know what healing looks like on paper. I literally teach this stuff every day. And still, I have my moments where I am tired, where I am uncertain, where I don't know what's next. When I'm processing things in real time, I mean, lately I have been stumped in session, okay? And the fact that in the same generation and they had to march across that bridge in Selma again for the same things they did it before, breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. And I have my moments where I close my laptop and I just stare and I just think, like, okay, now what? Because I have given and poured everything out to everyone else all day. And when it's time to do for me, I'm just like, ugh, I have nothing left over. And people sometimes assume that the therapist, or honestly anybody who's done a lot of personal growth work, eventually stops struggling. But honestly, it feels like you struggle more, because that certainly hasn't been my experience. Because growth doesn't eliminate the struggle, it changes your relationship with the struggle, helps it better to be able to manage. But growth does change how you talk to yourself when you're struggling. It changes how you stay stuck, how long you stay stuck. It changes how quickly you recognize what's happening. But it doesn't make you immune to being human. And honestly, I think that's a relief, because in a life where we've had to just be and go and do, we do become desensitized to needing rest. We do have poor relationship with rest, and we think it is a luxury, when the reality, rest is a privilege and it is our legacy. Because I don't want a life where I don't feel anything. I just want a life where I trust myself to move through what I feel. The other thing I've been noticing is that I'm standing in a doorway, and this is one of the hardest seasons of my life that I've encountered thus far, because I have no idea what is to come. I know where I've been, but there is no I need to get this done grind mode. And I had a clinical supervisor ask me once, I think I was shifting jobs and I didn't have to work as hard as I was in order to make ends meet. And so she goes, "What will you do with your free time?" Well, I filled it with just more shit that didn't even push towards my goal, to be completely honest. And so that middle space of not who I used to be, but not fully who I'm becoming yet either. And whew, this middle space is something else, because as humans, we love certainty. We love when things are just predictable. Our brain is able to function when it is on autopilot. We love labels. We love clarity. We love knowing exactly where we're headed. But growth often asks us, where did we walk before? But growth often asks us to walk before we have proof, to trust before we have certainty, to keep moving before everything makes sense. And that's where I feel like I've been lately. The in between, like the old identities don't fit anymore, old versions of me don't fit, and people still operating on those past versions of me, or those old ways of thinking. This new version hasn't fully settled yet, honestly. And if you've ever been in that space, you know how uncomfortable it can be. But nobody really celebrates the middle and the reality. This is where shit pops off and where you can truly enjoy the journey. Because again, we get to the end of the finish line and we go, okay, this is great. Now what? Because nobody talks about what it feels like to be in the hallway between who you were and who you're becoming. And one realization that I've come to is I I thought that healing would feel lighter, like not because I haven't healed or I haven't grown, but nobody talks enough about the fact that healing can feel heavy when it's happening. Like growth requires letting go, grieving, seeing things differently, boundaries. Boundaries. And boundaries come with difficult conversations, and difficult conversations come with change. And change, even good change, takes energy. And people don't like change. We don't like change. Change is hard, and people got to get with the program on a new programming system, because maybe the exhaustion isn't evidence that something is wrong. Maybe it's just evidence that something is shifting. It's evidence that maybe we are carrying less denial and more truth. Maybe it's evidence that we're finally looking at things we've been avoiding for years. It's the evidence I'm learning that we are becoming. Becoming is heavier than we expected. And I think that's why I'm back. Not because I have all of the answers, not because I mastered a damn thing, not because I've reached the finish line, but because I'm realizing that maybe the point isn't arriving. Maybe the point is learning how to live while we're still becoming, learning how to honor the process without rushing it, learning how to be visible without pretending, how to tell the truth about where we are. And right now, the truth is, I'm still in it. I'm still learning. I'm still grieving. I'm still processing. I'm still becoming. And when I am still processing, I'm pretty quiet. And that quietness reads as distance. And I just need my people to know I'm still here, but I'm just processing. A lot of the functions now are just internal. And maybe that's what this podcast has always been about. Not a pathway to perfection, not a pathway to having all of the answers, just becoming not even becoming some flawless version of myself, but literally a pathway to understanding myself a little better, my patterns, my stories, my wounds, my healing, my who I'm becoming. And honestly, that's close enough. So if you've been feeling tired lately, if you're feeling like you're doing the work but wondering why it feels so heavy, if you're feeling like you've caught between who you were and who you're becoming, you're not alone. I'm sitting right here with you. Okay? You don't have to have it all figured out because Rome wasn't built in a day. And you don't have to be finished to be worthy. You don't have to be fully healed to take up space. And you definitely don't have to wait until you arrive to be seen. I don't know exactly what this next season of this podcast is going to look like. Honestly, that's probably part of the adventure. But I know I want to be honest and I want to be real because that's what my ancestors telling me to do. And I know I have some things I want to talk about. So, we're going to talk about healing. We're going to talk about burnout. We're going to talk about relationships, identity, and your relationship with rest. We're going to talk about what it means to build a life that actually feels like yours. And most importantly, we're going to talk about what it means to be human. So, if you're growing, if you're healing, if you're trying to figure out life while you're living it, pull up a seat on the couch and we'll figure it out together. Until next time, take care of yourselves, keep becoming, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.